7 o'clock. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders to order. Please rise for a moment of silence. Ask that you remember the men and women in our armed forces. Dennis, salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk.
The notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Here.
Freeholder Delina.
Here.
Freeholder Polos. Freeholder Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Scott.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti. Freeholder Director Rafano.
Here. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder Carol Barrett.
Thank you, Director.
You're welcome.
I have some very good reports tonight. I think that will make everyone very happy. I know I'm very happy. Tonight, the Freeholder Board will vote on 4 resolutions that will put more than $13 million in federal stimulus funds to work in Middlesex County. Resolutions 10338, 10341, 10344, and 10345 enable the county to use these funds and authorize bidding on road resurfacing projects and guardrail installations throughout the county. These funds will be used to complete the projects and put Middlesex County residents back to work. The projects will also enhance the safety of all of those who use our roads: drivers, passengers, bikers, and pedestrians. 17 roads over 16.5 miles of some of the county's busiest roadways will be improved, and more than 1,000 ADA ramps will be improved or installed at intersections along these roads as part of the project. The roads include Woodbridge Avenue in Edison and Highland Park, New Durham Road in Metuchen and Edison, Route 516 Old Bridge Mattawan Road in Old Bridge, and on Livingston Avenue in New Brunswick. I will urge my freeholder colleagues to approve these resolutions so that we can authorize the bids and get shovels in the ground by this summer. If we approve these tonight, we will be among the first counties in the state to get the stimulus dollars working. I wish to thank John Reiser, the county engineer, and his department for taking an aggressive approach to bringing federal funds to Middlesex County. By doing so, we get our piece of the pie and using it to improve the safety of our residents. Thank you, John, for a great job. Also, I'm happy to report that the Middlesex County Urban Housing and Community Development Committee meets to determine how to allocate approximately $2 million in community development block grant money, which will come in from the federal government to the urban county municipalities in 2010. The committee consists of 2 representatives from each of the 19 municipalities, as well as 2 from the county, making 40 members in all. It has met several times a year since 1975. That's every year for the past 35 years, to cooperatively determine how best to spend these funds. Since the inception in 1975, the program has brought nearly $75 million in federal funds to Middlesex County's 19 participating municipalities. This is just an outstanding example of municipalities working together for the good of all of us in the county. Great job, Paul. Thank you so much. Also, I'm happy to report that the first mobile paper shredding event 2010, sponsored by Middlesex County, will be held Saturday, March 20th at the Old Bridge Public Works Facility at 1 Old Bridge Plaza between the hours of 9 and 1 p.m. or until the truck is full. These paper shredding events are really events that the residents really look forward to. Details on the mobile paper shredding program and all other recycling programs they are available by contacting the Middlesex County Division of Solid Waste Management at solid waste at county.middlesex.newjersey.us. Did I get that right? Okay. Or calling, easier for me to call 732-745-4170. Also, we're having our first household hazardous waste drop-off event in 2010, sponsored again by Middlesex County, and that will be held on March 21st at the Middlesex County College between the hours of 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. Again, same phone number, right? Thank you very much, and that's my report.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Dolina, the report.
Thank you very much, Freehold Director. I would like to advise the board and the public that the Middlesex County Conservation Corps is currently accepting applications for Spring Youth Corps programs. Anyone interested must act quickly, as applications must be turned in by February 22nd, and will start on March 27th. An application form can be downloaded from our website at www.co.middlesexcountynewjersey.usa. We're looking for high school and college students 16 years of age and older who are interested in helping us preserve our county open space. Please show up. We need a lot of young people. I also have brought with me copies of the Middlesex County Conservation Corps schedule of events for spring of 20110 events that will be held. The Spring Beach Cleanup to be held at the Raritan Bay Waterfront Park on April 24th from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The Spring Invasive Pool at Jamesburg Conservative Area on May 8th from 9:30 a.m. to noon, at which volunteers will be helped to remove harmful invasive plants and some trash cleanup. I would like to mention that our Conservation Corps will be celebrating National Trails Day on Saturday, June 6th from 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon at Ireland Brook Conservative Area in South Brunswick. On our day, we can join us in the trail work and clean up the projects, and if they wish to join in a hike during the afternoon. Anyone interested in participating in this event or would like further information, by applying as a member of the Conservation Corps, call Valerie Zelenko. Is that the right way, Ralph? Close. That's good, all right? I don't want to say it the wrong way. At 732-745-3064. And on the last note, entries for the winter basketball tournaments will be received tomorrow. Any questions, please call Aaron at 732-745-4222. I thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder.
I do have the spring cleanup if anybody would like to take some. They're over here.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Paulos?
Thank you, Freeholder. As everyone knows, in the last week or two, and certainly for the last month, we've experienced a lot of snowfall here in Middlesex County. I see the heads shaking in the audience. I'm sure it's been backbreaking work for many of you who had to shovel out from these large drifts of snow that have been affecting us. But I want to take a moment to thank the Middlesex County Road Department, Parks Department, Public Works, all the individuals in the county who have been instrumental in trying to keep our roadways open and passable and safe. They worked many, many long hours. It is a very difficult job. For those of you who have never participated in snow plowing, it is a very exhausting and sometimes monotonous bit of work to do, but certainly essential to keep the roadways safe for our drivers and for pedestrians. Walkways had to be cleared, and it became kind of a constant work situation. They did a yeoman's job across the board, and I want to thank them and compliment them, and again, for all the departments that participated, because we do depend upon assistance from some of the other departments in our Public Works Department to get the job done. I have heard there's going to be another storm next week, so be prepared and make sure that your shovels are ready. Hopefully it won't be as large and as impacting as the one that we've already had. This past week, I had the pleasure of participating in a press conference in Edison where we announced the receipt of a nearly $100,000 grant from the Division of Highway Traffic Safety. The grant will provide the Middlesex County with the funds to develop the Middlesex County Comprehensive Transportation Safety Planning Task Force. And today, we had the first meeting of that task force, which I chair. It is a cross-section of people from law enforcement, the Department of Transportation, county planning officials, a number of officials from Middlesex County, other stakeholders from our hospitals, brain injury and prevention individuals from some of our other community hospitals. And this group is going to be focused on trying to make Middlesex County a safer place for drivers and for pedestrians. It's unfortunate that the county ranks on one of the highest levels for pedestrian fatalities and injuries in the state. Last year we had 21 fatalities and over 520 injuries. And it is our goal, the goal of this task force, to utilize all resources available and a combination of education, physical improvements, and enforcement to ensure that we make our roadways safer for our drivers and for our pedestrians. And also we will be focusing on a couple of new initiatives which I'm particularly excited about, including one which will be the development of a website which will knit together each community and all of the different resources that are available for pedestrian and driver safety within the county and within the state in one simple-to-use website. It is a great task force. They're extremely excited and enthused to do the work, and we know that a lot of good will come out of it. Also pleased that we're able at that same event, through some discussions and work with Highway Traffic Safety, we're able to also obtain a $10,000 grant for Edison Township to focus primarily on pedestrian safety along the Route 1 corridor. Two of the most dangerous areas, if you will, for pedestrians in our county are the Route 1 corridor and the Route 9 corridor. So we're pleased that we have officials and police officials as well as municipal officials from both of those areas, those targeted areas, in the task force as well to assist us with the implementation of our plans and strategies. During the first week of March, we will be announcing and unveiling the Middlesex County Sustainability website. This is a program and plan that has been in the works now for approximately 18 months. It has been a labor of love for many people who have been involved in helping develop the state's first county sustainability website. This was put together not only by officials from the county, but by stakeholders from throughout Middlesex County, including local public officials and mayors from our communities, business owners, utility companies, and others who helped to develop and devise a website which will be a live, user-friendly, interactive website where we will establish 10 specific goal areas on how Middlesex County can become greener and more sustainable. We have a great slogan in Middlesex County. We say, "Go green, save green." There is a method here to our madness that we know that the sustainability work that we do will not only result in a greener county and a greener community and a greener state, but it will also save tax dollars for our communities and for the county. And one prime example of that was the project that just took place this past week, wherein the county utilized, as a result of the work that's being done on our green initiatives, utilized the planning and audit work done through our green services, if you will, and green efforts here in Middlesex County to participate in a program which saved the county $100,000 in upfront costs for the installation of a new heating and air conditioning system on our archives building, but more importantly, a savings of $3,000 per month going forward for the reduction in electricity that this new energy-efficient equipment will provide to this building. There's also a substantial reduction in the carbon footprint, which is the harmful fumes of carbon dioxide and monoxide that are emitted which is equivalent to saving hundreds of trees or taking many cars off the roadway. Again, we go green, we save green, not only the environment, but also money for the taxpayers of the county. What I'm going to ask support from the board from is to direct Jeff Mayerowitz, who is our kind of our green guy, as we affectionately call him, because he's focused on this. And I've already asked him, and I think I've sent it through memo to John Pulamina and to the board, is to ask him to further our work and effort in making sure that all of the county buildings in Middlesex have been completely audited for energy efficiency. As a result of the work that we did in North Brunswick, we were able to apply and participate in this special grant program that's saving us money. We need to expand that now to all the buildings in the county, identify where there can be efficiencies, and then seek out every program, dollar, and Board of Public Utility program that's available to implement the changes to reduce our energy costs, reduce the cost of operation, and make our buildings greener going forward. Last but not least, the Middlesex County, South County Regional Public Safety Dispatch Initiative is moving to the next level. The participants, which include Monroe, Jamesburg, South Brunswick, and Plainsboro, have completed Phase 1 of developing a South County Regional 911 Dispatch Center and will be moving to Phase 2 now, which is the analysis of the physical equipment and radio equipment and other features that would be needed to take the initiative to the next level. Pleased to announce that we also have 2 more communities now that have expressed interest in participating, and we'll be furthering discussions with them as time moves on over the course of the next month. Thank you very much, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder. Deputy Director Ronald Rios.
Thank you, Director. As far as my education and health report goes, as far as our vocational schools, I had the pleasure of attending our Board of Education meeting last night. Great things continue to happen there. Just coincidentally, each one of our campuses, all 5 campuses, are making an effort to raise money for the Haitian relief. And they're doing a tremendous job. They're having different fundraisers for Haitian relief. We had one of our students in 12th grade, Christian Morales, who was interning in a restaurant in New York, and now he was offered a position in a restaurant in New York. So that just goes to show you the type of education that we're providing in our vocational schools that we're very, very proud of. As far as Rutgers Extension Services, we continue to submit grants for Sun Grants, the Dodge Foundation. We're preparing grants for integrated pest management. Our 4-H development projects continue to flourish. We're expanded our food and nutrition education program. We've had workshops for there. Also for our SNAP-Ed, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Our health department, we continue to administer the doses of for the H1N1 up to date. We are over 60,000 people between children and adults that we inoculated in our various mass clinics. And our next one will be Friday, February 26th at the Fire Academy in Sayreville from 9 to 11:30 and from 1 to 6 p.m. And then our immunizations also will continue through March 30th on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. at the Public Health Clinic at 596 Jersey Avenue, Suite B in New Brunswick. And tonight we will also consider accepting a grant in the total amount of almost $50,000. So we continue to seek out grants, whether it be through the state or the federal government, which also helps our county taxpayers as well. But getting back to our H1N1 clinics, they run so smoothly and professionally, and it's such a cooperative effort between our health department and local communities where we have our our EMTs, our police departments, offices of emergency management, and everyone comes together for the common goal of providing the H1N1, and they do a terrific job. As far as our college goes, great things happen in our college. Enrollment continues to rise, and that's because of the quality education that we provide there. And Craviel Hall is still on target, and that concludes my report. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Freeholder Mildred Scott.
I have no report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder Juanquita Valente.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate you and the Finance Committee on putting that budget together and taking note of the fact that the taxpayers are hard up this year. It's a very tough economy, and you have actually reduced the amount, and I think that many of us are very grateful for that, especially people that have that live on fixed incomes. I want to point to the Star Ledger first page on Monday, actually the cover, the final edition, and I'm sure many of you saw that, the new faces of homelessness. And it's not just some old guy by the railroad, it's a family. There's so many families affected. There's so many families that are hungry. And when we talk about our food pantry and we talk about the lack of food, it's very real. And so those of you who are, or of us who are in the position to give generously, whether it's the canned goods for McFoods or your local food pantry, I'm encouraging that from the bottom of my heart. In my report tonight, I want to simply announce that the Finance Honor Society at Rutgers, which is called the Beta Alpha Phi, is helping taxpayers file online by appointment only. It already started. And this is a sponsored service by VITA, the IRS Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And this is happening at the New Brunswick Public Library. So for further information, they're asking people to bring their W-2 forms, Social Security cards, etc., and an independence. In my report 2 weeks ago, I reported about McFoods, and right now taking place is the Spring Food Drive in Middlesex County, which is the largest source of food donations. Once again, we are receiving the assistance of the Road Department and Public Property, and they do assist us with this annual drive to our program, and already they are distributing, as of today, containers, bags and flyers to all the schools. The schools have been great, and they have from the 1st till the 12th of March to collect the donations, and between March 15th and March 26th, pick up donations from the schools. So I want to thank Ed Windas from the MCIA Recycling Division Manager. He's coordinating the logistics of this drive. And again, we are asking people, if they have any questions at all, to contact Jennifer Apostle at MCIA. The rest of my report is dedicated to the many programs that we have been able to fund this year, and many of these are through grants. However, right now, the economic situation coming from Trenton is that some of the most needed programs that we have, we're still waiting to hear whether we got the grants from the Juvenile Justice Department, which is crucial to taking care of kids who come out of the detention center and need further care. So I'm urging our legislators to please help us be able to get these commitments from Trenton. And I think that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Freeholder. As my report, I'd like to read a statement which highlights the 2010 Middlesex County budget, a budget that we are going to introduce tonight. I know we all strongly believe that a decrease in the 2010 county tax is the responsible thing to do to help our taxpayers during these difficult economic times. It is time to put money back in our taxpayers' pockets where it belongs. So I am pleased to announce that the overall 2010 Middlesex County budget that we introduced tonight reflects a tax decrease for our residents. The Finance and Administration Committee, which I chair and of which Freeholder Millie Scott is a member, has been diligently working with all our department heads and the Board of Chosen Freeholders to bring this proposed budget to you this evening. Throughout this challenging budget process, the focus of this Board of Chosen Freeholders has and will continue to be providing the quality services and programs that our county has always been known for and will continue to meet the needs of our residents. To achieve our objectives, we have been working carefully and with precision to examine every element of the county budget. This approach, used in achieving this tax reduction, required a diverse portfolio of expense and revenue initiatives. It included forging new partnerships with public and private entities to look at new and existing programs with a broader perspective. The following are key components of this year's budget. In the area of salary and wages, many of our key unions have worked with us in freezing salaries in 2009, enabling us to contain salaries in 2010 for a taxpayer savings of $2.8 million. We have consolidated youth services under the supervision of adult corrections. Savings were achieved by consolidating the payroll, personnel, and accounts payable functions from both former departments. This consolidation resulted in the elimination of 14 positions and a taxpayer savings of $827,835. We will continue to freeze all non-essential hiring and eliminate vacant positions where appropriate, which will provide a taxpayer savings of over $721,967. Between now and adoption of the 2010 budget, we will be working to further streamline governmental operations and realign departments to further reduce the cost of government. In the area of shared service agreements, we have just signed a 10-year shared services agreement with Monmouth County to use our youth services facility. This will generate $2 million a year in new revenue. This agreement will save our taxpayers $20 million over the next 10 years. We established a shared service agreement with Gloucester County to use our youth services facility. It will generate $123,000 in additional revenue. We are finalizing a multi-year agreement with Monmouth County, who will utilize the services of our medical examiner department and facilities. It will generate $100,000 in revenue. We are actively negotiating with other counties that have expressed interest in using our adult correction and youth service facilities. We hope to include revenues from these potential agreements in this year's budget. In the area of operating expenses, through the efforts of our joint health insurance fund, we have successfully contained the increase in health care costs. If we would have stayed in the state health plan, our health care cost would have increased by over 18%, or more than $5.4 million. Because of these efforts and the success we have achieved, we will be working with the healthcare sector along with our in-house experts to offer municipalities the opportunity to participate in our joint health care insurance fund in order to further reduce the cost of providing health care benefits to our employees and ultimately produce a tax savings for our residents. We have reduced our capital improvement fund from the original department request by $14 million without impacting our investment in infrastructure improvements. We have reduced the county's day-to-day operating expenses controlled by this board by over $524,725. This will bring these operating expenses below 2009 levels. We consolidated the economic development and real estate departments under one director to focus more aggressively on pursuing a marketing strategy aimed at bringing new business into this county. In addition, we are more effectively managing our leased facilities, reducing their costs by $173,000 in 2010 and $865,000 over 5 years. We also will begin to implement changes recommended in an energy audit completed at our county-owned facilities in North Brunswick. The first of those projects, the replacement of the HVAC system at our archives building, will see an upfront savings of $100,000 and a savings of at least $2,500 to $3,000 a month in energy costs. This is achieved by participating in a PSE&G program that pays for 80% of the installation cost. The monthly savings are realized by installing a more energy-efficient unit. In the area of revenues and surplus, we are completing the sale of our engineering department building to the city of New Brunswick. That will generate $2.9 million in revenue. This move allows us to assist in the New Brunswick redevelopment strategy and is consistent with our long-term strategy to provide more effective utilization of our owned county facilities. In another measure to reduce our tax levy and help our taxpayers, we will use $2.1 million of our surplus funds, our rainy day funds, to balance the budget. Given the current state of the national economy and the unprecedented burden on our taxpayers, I believe that using this reserve fund now is the responsible thing to do. I am, however, putting county department heads and employees on notice. We must replenish the surplus for the 2011 budget. I believe we can achieve this through the programs and projects I've outlined in my director's message. In the area of providing tax relief, the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders' strong commitment to the preservation of open space has helped the county save forever more than 7,000 acres of open lands. In 2009, taking advantage of lower land acquisition costs, we aggressively pursued and added to our inventory a number of important parcels, including the 188-acre historic Polder Farm in South Brunswick. At our last public meeting, we authorized studies on 4 more properties and anticipate sending other projects for study this coming year. We have been aggressive in preserving open space and will continue to do so. I am recommending that for the 2010 year only, we reduce the open space tax by 1 cent, which represents an $11 million tax reduction for our taxpayers. This will allow us to complete all of our 2010 open space commitments while still providing much-needed tax relief to our residents. I've given you a concise summary of key components of the budget proposal we introduced tonight. I am proud to say that this board has looked at every line item and every expenditure. We are working collaboratively with our employees, our municipalities, and our partners in neighboring counties and the private sector to place before you a budget that puts our residents first. Unfortunately, we have to continue to contend with cuts in state-mandated programs. Governor Christie announced he is withholding $475 million in aid to school districts and cutting $62 million in aid to colleges and $12 million to hospital charity care. His plan does not bring tax relief to residents. It simply shifts the burden to county and local municipalities. The state is once again passing the buck, not solving the problem. We were each elected to make decisions, not pass the buck. Now it is time to take action. That is why in 2010, we will see a reduction in Middlesex County's taxes. That is why Middlesex County continues to be the greatest county in the land. Thank you. Now the clerk will read a resolution relative to the establishment of a cap bank for 2010.
Calendar year 2010 resolution to increase tax levy cap limits and establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A:4-45.14, authorized public hearing to be held on Thursday, March 11, 2010 at 7 p.m. in the Freeholders meeting room.
I need a motion.
So moved.
To read the whole resolution.
Second.
Oh,
Sorry, I
Gotta
have to read the whole thing.
okay. We got time.
Get comfortable. Whereas the local government cap law, NJSA 40A:4-45.1 et sec, provides that in the preparation of its annual budget, a county shall limit any increase in its levy in said budget to 2.5% unless authorized by resolution to increase it to 3.5% over the previous year's tax levy, subject to certain exceptions. And whereas NJSA 40A:4-45.15a provides that a county may, when authorized by resolution, establish and when and if necessary, utilize a cap bank for the allowable increase from the 2.5% cap limit to the 3.5% rate within the current year or in either of the next 2 succeeding years. And whereas the County of Middlesex finds it advisable and prudent to increase its calendar year 2010 tax levy cap by up to 3.5% over the previous years in the interest of promoting the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens. And whereas the Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby determines that a 1% increase in the tax levy cap bank for said year amounting to $1,895,040 in excess of the tax levy cap bank otherwise permitted by the local government cap law is advisable and prudent, and whereas the Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby determines that any amount authorized here and above that is not utilized as part of the final budget tax levy shall be retained as an exception to the final tax levy cap in either of the next 2 succeeding years, and whereas NJSA 40A:4-45.14 requires that a public hearing be held thereon, and whereas this board wishes to hold said public hearing on Thursday, March 11, 2010 at 7 p.m. in the Freeholders Meeting Room, County Administration Building, New Brunswick. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex, a majority of the full authorized membership of this governing body affirmatively concurring that in the calendar year 2010 budget, the final allowable tax levy cap of the County of Middlesex shall, in accordance with this resolution and NJSA 40A:4-45.14, be increased by 1%, amounting of $1,895,040, and that the calendar year 2010 county budget for the County of Middlesex be approved and adopted in accordance with this resolution, and be it further resolved that any amount authorized herein above that is not utilized as part of the final budget tax levy shall be retained as an exception to the final tax levy cap in either of the next 2 succeeding years, and be it further resolved that a public hearing shall be held on Thursday, March 11, 2010 at 7 p.m. in the Freeholders Meeting Room, County Administration Building, New Brunswick, New Jersey. Be it further resolved that the clerk of this board shall cause this resolution to be published in the Home News Tribune, East Brunswick, at least 10 days prior to the date of said public hearing. Be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution, as introduced, be filed with the Director of the Division of Local Government Services within 5 days of introduction. And be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution upon adoption with the recorded vote included thereon be filed with said director within 5 days after such adoption.
You want to
I'm
do that
done.
one more time, please?
Okay.
Could you repeat that?
Okay, I need a motion on the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. The clerk will now read the county budget notice.
Annual budget of the County of Middlesex for the fiscal year 2010. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the county budget for the year 2010. Be it further resolved that a summary of said budget be published in the Home News Tribune in the issue of February 26, 2010. The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2010. Summary of approved budget. Total of general appropriations for 2010, $405,154,000. Less anticipated revenues, $96,478,000. Amount to be raised by taxation, county purpose tax, $308,676,000.
I need a motion to introduce the budget.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Any discussion by any freeholders? Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina. Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution was approved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex on February 18, 2010. A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at the County Administration Building, New Brunswick, New Jersey, on March 11, 2010 at 7 p.m., at which time and place objections to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2010 may be presented by taxpayers or other interested persons.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to deviate from the normal order of business to consider two resolutions. That's resolutions number 10-282 and 10-333. At this time, I'd like to open to the public Resolution 10-282 only. Any comment from the public? First call, second call, third? Need a
Motion to close.
I have a motion to close. I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Barrett. Okay. Roll call.
That's voice vote.
That was roll call.
That's voice vote.
It's got to be roll
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yep.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Okay, now I need a motion to adopt the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yep.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of East Brunswick, Dave Stahl. Come on up, Dave.
Thank you, Director, and members of the board. I first want to congratulate you on your adoption or your introduction of your budget, being so responsible to the residents of Middlesex County. I applaud all of you for the fine efforts on that regard. I also appreciate your continued support for making investments in our future. By your actions tonight, as you know, East Brunswick has a beautiful park, Heavenly Farms. Your support of our community, not only of East Brunswick, but all the southern portion of the county, with the additional funds that will create a level playing field and associated comfort station, will go a long way in providing great recreational activities for members of the public with special needs. So on behalf of East Brunswick, and I said all the southern portion of the county who is going to get great use out of this field, I say thank you and appreciate the support.
Thank you, Mayor. At this point, I'd like to open up to the public resolution number 10-333 only. On first call, second, third.
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Barrett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, now I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by
We got 2
Freeholder Barrett.
seconds down there, I think.
Okay. Freeholder Barrett.
That makes
Roll
four.
call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yep.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Okay, at this point, I'd like to call up Anthony Massaro. He's going to be a member of the Middlesex County Planning Board.
Congratulations. Raise your right hand, left hand on the Bible. Okay. I state your name.
I, Anthony F. Massaro,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that
States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to
and
the same
allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of member Middlesex County Planning Board
of member of the Middlesex County Planning Board
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations. May I have a signature, please? Thank you.
Tony, say a few words.
Thank you, Director Rafano. Thank you, members of the Board of Freeholders. As a sidelight, I was very, very favorably impressed with the status of the finance report on the budget. I fancy myself as a bit of a student of that, and that was right on the mark, and it impressed me. But more importantly, and on point tonight with the position of the County Planning Board, I thank you for the opportunity to be able to do what I love what I do, and put back more than I take out. It's been a guiding principle of me. You wouldn't see that on the resume, but I thank you for that opportunity, and I do not believe that you'll be disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you. Margaret, I believe we have one commemorative resolution.
Yes. The first, it's recognizing East Brunswick Township on the occasion of its 150th anniversary.
I need a motion to adopt the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett?
Yes.
Freeholder Delina?
Yep.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Scott?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes. At this time, correspondence?
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office. Since our last meeting, this correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
I need a motion to accept the correspondence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Now, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Yeah, Mr. Kelso, are there any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
Yes, Resolution 10-334 on page 5 is to be held based upon the recommendation from our agenda meeting on Tuesday.
Okay, are there any resolutions to be voided?
Yes, Resolution 10-276 on page 8, which had been adopted at the previous meeting, is to be voided. It has been replaced by, as per my direction on Tuesday evening, by the Resolution 10-352.
Okay, thank you. I will now open the meeting up to the public.
Excuse
I'm
me,
sorry.
Director. There was one resolution to be added,
Okay.
which I neglected to point out. The freeholders have it in front of you. It is to award contracts to various vendors on various bid sheets for furnishing of social services and case management for the homeless, SSH, required by the Middlesex County Department of Human Services, in a total amount not to exceed $511,959, including a set-aside of $158,000. Further, to hold bid sheet number 1, item E, in abeyance pending receipt of the Salvation Army's corporate resolution, and further to authorize the purchasing agent to re-advertise for bid sheet number 1, item B, purchase order 10-200, which involves grant funds, and it's subject to the adoption of the 2010 budget.
Okay.
This would be added to the consent agenda.
I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett?
Yes.
Freeholder Delina?
Yep.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Scott?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes.
And Director, that will be Resolution 10-357.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open the meeting up to the public on agenda items only. And remember, there's a 5-minute rule. Anybody from the public? Mr. Stewart.
You got to move the mic closer so I don't waste time walking so far. I don't know which resolution this, the personnel report would come under, but I'm curious, on the very first page of the personnel report, it's saying here, title and salary, and they're referring to, this is a workforce development position. And they're, I have no idea, but maybe someone can fill it in. What is the position? And it's going from temporary to permanent, and the hourly rate is going from $18 to $20.
Jane?
That was a position at the Roosevelt Community Learning Center. One of my employees had a serious fall and has had to resign from the position. The person who was in her place while she was on temporary medical leave, I'm now making permanent to fill that position. This is an instructor in the Community Learning Center for ABE ESL literacy work.
And it's grant funded, too.
It is grant funded.
Yeah.
Correct.
In the future, when the report is being made up, could that be explained a little better right on the report? I see that this is all federally grant funded, all of this. But here again, next to the general changes from temporary to permanent, I don't see anything that says what the salaries are, even though supposedly it's not coming out of the county budget. I'm still curious what money is being, how this money is being spent.
Garcia and Vela? Garcia and Vela?
Oh, I'm sorry, Abner Garcia, I apologize. Right, this is a position in the youth, my youth manager, Pat Smith, who's been in the county for about 38 years, retired. I'm replacing her with Abner Garcia as the youth manager. That is all federal dollars. It is not, no county funds are at all involved in that. And the other position also, I think, is the youth position, same situation, replacing people that were there.
Do you have any idea what the salaries are?
Oh, yeah, I do. His is, Abner is 35 hours a week, and I think it was $30 an hour, if I remember correctly. And the other one, I don't know the hourly rate, I'm sorry, I have to go back and look.
Maybe in that neighborhood or
No,
less?
Yes.
Less than that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Anybody else from the public?
Motion to close.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Do we have any resolutions that a freeholder would like read separately?
Yes.
Okay.
Resolution 10-350.
Anybody else? I have one, which is 10-294. Okay, Mr. Kelso?
Yes, Freeholder Director, a motion would now be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolutions numbers 10-282 through 10-357, excluding resolutions 10-282 and 10-333, which were previously voted upon, resolution 10-334 to be held, resolution 10-276 to be voided, and resolutions 10-350 and 10-294 to be voted upon separately.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Barrett. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Now, Freeholder Director, it would be appropriate to consider the resolution which was excluded by Freeholder Valenti, and that is Resolution 10-350.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Barrett. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina. Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Present not voting.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And now would finally be appropriate to consider the resolution excluded by the Director, and that's Resolution 10-294.
Need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett.
Yes.
Freeholder Delina.
Yep.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Scott.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Present not voting. At this time, I'd like to open up to the floor. Any matters like to be discussed?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Now I need a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Meeting adjourned.